You see that? Yeah, that. Yeah, I'm buying one of those. A sentence I'd never thought I'd say. I'm buying a Tesla Cybertruck. I hope you're having a fantastic day today. Dave K here today, telling you about the process of purchasing a Cybertruck, why I'm buying one, my thoughts on the Cybertruck, and what the process looks like moving forward. Let me take you back to the beginning of my journey. I needed a car. I've been without a car for a while here in Florida. There's not a lot of accessible transportation, and I've been using Ubers and Lyfts as needed. That being said, it does make sense for me to get a car if I'm going to want to be driving around more, and I would like to be able to get around more and share a variety of fun adventures with you, and even consider some traveling adventures. So it's time for me to get serious about getting a car. Initially, I was thinking about a sedan. I'm not the sort of person to consider a pickup truck. It just doesn't look like my style. They consume a lot of gas. It just wasn't what came to mind when I thought about myself as a driver. But as I thought about it more, there's a lot to be said for a pickup truck. I'll have the ability to tow and carry things with me if I find myself moving or taking long road trips. I can bring a lot of things with me in a pickup truck. It also allows me the ability to buy or rent an RV in the event that maybe I want to do more traveling and want to do some road trips for those traveling adventures. Perhaps a more cost-effective way, or maybe just an easier way to go short distances without getting on a plane or going to the airport. That being said, the idea of a road trip is appealing. Being able to have an RV and use an RV is appealing, or at least try an RV. And so it seems like a pickup truck offers a lot of flexibility that I wouldn't have otherwise with a sedan. So that's how I found myself considering a pickup truck, but how did I find my way to the Cybertruck? There are a lot of pickup trucks to consider, but I was specifically considering the Toyota Tundra. I like the Toyota Tundra for a variety of different reasons. I really trust the Toyota brand name. I've had a lot of luck with Toyotas. I had a Scion for a while, also made by Toyota. Toyota always does really well with reliability scores and reviews, and if you look on some of the mechanical and historical issues with the Tundra, for example, compared to the Ford 150, which was the other pickup truck I was seriously considering, you have a lot more history of recalls with some larger issues with the 150 than you have with the Toyota. And although the Ford 150 offers a wider variety of options, the Toyota Tundra did to me sound like something I would really enjoy. So I was looking at Toyota Tundras as my pickup truck, and then I started to get into the question of used, and how much of a used vehicle makes sense versus a new vehicle. I'm always thinking about something more cost-effective. I don't want to spend a lot of money on a vehicle, so I was thinking to myself, let me look at some of these used Tundras and see how much you save versus how much of a warranty you might lose, how many miles the vehicle might already have, and how many years old the older Tundra might be versus a newer Tundra. Let me get a new battery. In comparing a variety of used pickup trucks, specifically Toyota Tundras, to their new counterpart, I saw that the Toyota Tundra really holds its value over time. And I noticed this theme with pickup trucks in general. It seems that pickup trucks are very popular, and that's why they hold their value, in comparison to their sedan counterparts, which you can find for used vehicles at a much cheaper rate. So it was hard to validate losing that warranty, having all those additional miles and those additional years, just to find something that was a little bit cheaper for a pickup truck. Meanwhile, Mike brought the Cybertruck to my attention a couple of different times, but it seemed so expensive on paper to me. I was thinking, I'm sure I can find a used vehicle that makes more sense, that is older, right? After working my way through quite a number of used Toyota Tundras and other used pickup trucks and deciding that it may be worthwhile to get something new so that I'll have the additional years, the additional miles, and the additional warranty, I said to myself, it really seems like there's no reason to get something like a Toyota Tundra over a Cybertruck, when your base price for the Toyota Tundra with the four-wheel drive edition is something like $38,000 out the door, where your base Cybertruck is $40,000 out the door. You're looking at $2,000 for quite a few features that I feel like make the Cybertruck worthwhile. And in case you're looking for a short initial list of some of those items, we're talking about an all-electric vehicle with far less repairs and maintenance because there's a lot less moving mechanical pieces, and a lot of other amazing aspects of the Cybertruck we'll dive into in a bit. So I sort of logicked my way into a Cybertruck. I feel like it seems to make sense on paper, considering the cost of a new pickup truck that I was looking at, the Toyota Tundra. If you look at the Tesla The starting Cybertruck can tow 7,500 pounds. That's more than the two-wheel drive Tundra. Not as much as the four-wheel drive Tundra, but we'll get into those details as well in terms of those numbers. So I went to Tesla's website to customize my Cybertruck. Still crazy to think that I'm going for a Cybertruck and that I've put my name in as someone who wishes to buy a Cybertruck when they're ready, but I'm very excited to share it with you. In determining the specifications for my Cybertruck, it seemed to make sense to me to have the fully self-driving capability. That seemed to be very useful and important for a variety of different reasons. For one, it saves me time, and I hadn't thought to myself, this was another point that Mike pointed out, that not only is it fully self-driving right now in terms of keeping you in the lane, but it will allow you longer term to have the fully self-driving capabilities of no human interaction. The vehicle exclusively drives itself. That means my Cybertruck can come pick me up from the airport. It means that my Cybertruck could potentially maybe be an Uber or a Lyft, depending upon what the world looks like at that time, if that's allowed with the way the world goes. There's so many possibilities. It could take the road trip itself. It could move my stuff itself across the country. Such an exciting idea with the Cybertruck. So it seemed so worthwhile for me to add on that $10,000 fully self-driving capability, but I also decided to go for the dual motor all-wheel drive for an additional $10,000. For me, the big reason for this is the all-wheel drive as opposed to the rear-wheel drive. I'm sure there are pros and cons of rear-wheel versus all-wheel drive, but I like all-wheel drive for a few different reasons. That includes stability and safety of the all-wheel drive vehicle and potentially the ability to tow more efficiently. That being said, on the Tesla website, as we're comparing the single-motor rear-wheel drive to the dual-motor all-wheel drive, you're looking at that additional $10,000 for the ability to tow 10,000 plus pounds as opposed to 7,500, the ability to go from 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds as opposed to 6.5 seconds, and a range estimated of 300 or more miles as opposed to 250 with that single-wheel drive vehicle. It's also worth noting that it looks like the single-motor rear-wheel drive vehicle will not be expected to be in production until late 2022, whereas the dual-motor all-wheel drive vehicle should be in production in late 2021. That's this year. That being said, the tri-motor all-wheel drive was an additional $20,000, and I didn't think that I needed that vehicle, although it does go from 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. Extremely impressive. Quite a range and a towing capacity on that one as well, but an additional $20,000 didn't seem to be something that I felt that I needed. So you're looking at a $60,000 vehicle after all these add-ons. It's not cheap by any means, but I think it would be worthwhile with all the additional benefits and features that I would get. We're talking about that electric vehicle, the fully self-driving capability. There's a lot to be said for it. I'm very excited to see what the Cybertruck looks like as we get closer to production. In looking at the website, I had to put down $100 today in order to hold my reservation for the vehicle. Once I enter the type of vehicle that I want, I simply enter my information, my email, and give them my card information so they can bill me that $100. And then I get an email from Tesla letting me know that my reservation has been confirmed. They also sent me a few documents, and I have a owner's portal, in a way, a reservation portal that allows me to see my reservation information, learn more about charging and Cybertruck features, and see my design, the dual motor all-wheel drive with the fully self-driving capability. An additional feature that's worth noting is that I can actually cancel this reservation at any point between now and when I receive the vehicle. Looking at the contract, it seems that I can cancel all the way up till receiving the vehicle and get my full deposit back, that $100. Which makes it a lot easier to say, yes, I will take a Cybertruck today and see what kind of financial position I'm in, of course, at that point in time. I'm going to need to really save for this one. So as I'm thinking about vehicles in the short term, I'm thinking maybe it makes sense for me to look at a much older vehicle in the meantime. Maybe I can find something much lower priced with a lot of miles on it as a sedan. And I can use that sedan in the short term while I wait for this extremely exciting, brand new Cybertruck. I pushed through this deposit here in late April, at the very end of April, so I'm not sure how many people are ahead of me in the reservation queue. It may take me longer than I think to get the Cybertruck. Might go past 2021. We'll find out. Hopefully, it'll be soon. That would be extremely exciting, but we'll see how this goes. I'm getting more and more excited for this Cybertruck as we go. There's so much to be said for it. It's much more my style than a standard pickup truck. I love the futuristic look. I know Elon Musk stated that he wasn't too concerned what people thought, and that maybe most pickup truck owners wouldn't love this style. But it's so much more my style than a standard pickup truck. I love that futuristic feel. To me, it looks like a very cool car, so I'm excited to rock it for a variety of different reasons. I know I said I'm going to be vlogging less, but I'm trying to vlog the extremely exciting things to me, and this is one of those things. I'm so excited for this vehicle. The hype is really building as we get closer to the Cybertruck. I'm excited to share it with you once we get it, show you what it looks like. It even has a 6th seat in the front. There's 6 seats and a trunk that opens and closes. We'll talk more about all those details later. And we'll talk with Mike as well to hear some of his most exciting features of the vehicle. One thing I was worried about with the Cybertruck is charging. So I took a look on Tesla's website to see where their superchargers are. And if you look at this website, you can see they are all over the country. That made me feel a lot better about being able to get the Tesla. There's chargers absolutely everywhere if you look all around the US. Maybe some of the trickier portions for charging with a supercharging station are going from that Midwest, the Montana area, up to Canada. There's a larger gap in superchargers, but quite honestly, anywhere within the country, and as long as you go to Canada from one of the 2 coasts, you'll be pretty solid, it looks like. I'm not planning a road trip to Canada anytime soon, but it's nice to have that flexibility and that opportunity. Looking at the numbers, it does seem like it'll save me a bit over gas to use electricity, not to mention how much better it will be for the environment and how much mechanically easier this vehicle will be. I'm not very handy with cars, so I'm hoping that the repairs will be a lot lower. I've watched a few different videos on how it seems like the cost of electricity will be a lot lower than gas, or how some of the previous Tesla's repair costs are a lot lower than standard gas vehicles. But we'll have to see how this vehicle behaves once we actually receive it, once it's fully in production, and once people are actually driving the car on the road. It's a concept for now, at the time of filming, so we'll see what happens when it rolls around. So there are so many features to be excited for. You have a 6th seat in the front. It's actually a bulletproof vehicle from my understanding. It has that trunk that opens and closes so it can act as a regular sedan in addition to as a truck. You've got the energy efficiency, a lot less maintenance hopefully, and so much more to look forward to. In addition, you have that get up and go that it seems like you don't have in those base pickup trucks of other vehicles. This one accelerates from 0 to 60 a lot faster than another base pickup truck. I'm so excited to share the Cybertruck with you when it comes in. Now, let's hear from Mike, the one who inspired me to look into and buy a Cybertruck, to hear his most exciting aspects and thoughts on the Cybertruck and what he's looking forward to seeing most in the truck. Cybertruck Talk with Mike. Mike, you advised I take a look into the Cybertruck initially, and I know you are extremely excited about it. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are, what make it so exciting, and what some of the features you're most excited to see on my Cybertruck are.
Well, you know, to me, and I recommended, didn't say, you know, oh, this is the one and only, you know, I recommended the Cybertruck, I recommended Tesla. There's a lot of reasons, right? The electricity, the fact that you have basically, you know, everything that you need all in one, the safety, all these things, the tech, like the fact that you have basically a gigantic iPad in your car, which is all you need, and the design. The design's controversial, right? There's some who say like, oh, it's a great design. There's some who are like, no, I don't like that design. And when I first saw it, I'll be honest with you, I didn't like the design. I didn't. Over time, I've learned to really love the design. Every time I look at it, I'm like, oh, I like it more and more each time. But more than that, the thing that really for me sells it big time is the fact that it's an all-in-one. You have an electric and you have basically a trunk. And if I was looking at some of the early mock-ups, and they actually have a trunk in the bed of the truck, like the Ridgeline, the Honda Ridgeline, the new one, where you have a trunk in there. And so now it's going to be something where it's all in one. You can have the trunk, you can have the Volt where it covers down, you have an electric car, you can pull things, you have 4 seats, no 6 seats, when you have the back row and the front row. You have everything you need in that car, and I don't think you'll need much of another car for most things. It's just, to me, it just sounds like an all-around winner.
I know the more we've talked about it, the more excited I've become. I know you mentioned initially maybe that design was not as exciting for you. I always thought the design was cool, but I didn't see as much value in some of the features. I just didn't think to myself and think long-term and realize, hey, maybe 5 years from now, this car will be able to pick me up from the airport. Or the car will be able to take me on a road trip. And not only the time that you could save now with auto drive, but the time you can save longer term once auto drive gets to that next level.
Yeah, and that is a legislation piece, right? So right now, self-driving on a Tesla it can do so much, right? We've seen it do so much for years, where it's like, you sit behind the wheel, you have to be paying attention, no texting, you still pay attention. But it can do basically everything. Come to full stops, go from stoplights, make that stop at the stop sign. You name it, it can do it. So the future you're talking about, I envision, is you go to the airport, you tell your car to go back home, charge itself, and then you text the car or you have it pre-scheduled to come pick you up at a certain time. And then, even beyond that, you can say, you know what, I don't feel like going to the grocery store today. I'm going to order something, and then I'm going to have the car go over there. The people will know which one it is. The vault opens, the trunk part opens. People put the groceries in who are delivering, who are, dropping off the groceries from the grocery store. Put in there, it closes, it drives back home. I envision a world that's like that. And I think that this self-driving technology, well, if you're getting a Tesla, if you're even thinking about a Tesla, self-driving's got to be, it's like automatic. That's like no question, no exception. Self-driving would be 100% a requirement for me. It is the future. And think of it in terms of it can work for you. Because there are some who have actually talked about how Uber and Lyft will no longer require a driver. It's just going to be totally driverless, where it becomes the car goes and does its thing. And imagine if you had a car, making the payments, all that, people who currently have self-driving cars. And you can click a button and it goes and works for you all day. You're at work, you drove yourself to work, okay, and you click a button, you're just like, okay, bye Cybertruck, I'll see you in 8 hours, and it goes off, it does work for you, it makes money for you, it's basically doing the thing that makes you more money, and then comes pick you up at the end of the day, you're set to go. I mean, the advantages to that versus a new car, right? Because another new car, we're talking about, what, $45,000. Why not do the Cybertruck where you have that kind of future-proofing already in place?
Right. Another thing I find so interesting is not only looking at standard cars, but looking at the other Tesla lineup and seeing how the price points compare on those vehicles. It seems like maybe with the Model 3 you can find something a little bit less expensive, but generally you're not looking at something much less expensive even if you get one of those sedans or that Model Y, that SUV style vehicle. And some of these sedans are much more expensive, so I feel like that's extremely exciting as well, right? That multifunctional aspect of being able to tow, having a fully electric vehicle, and at a price point similar to the fully electric sedans.
Now, like you were referring to before, one of the things that has interested me for a while in the Tesla is like, you want to go on a road trip around the country, right? You want to experience these things. A lot of us have that feeling like, oh my gosh, I'd love to like go cross country, do these things. Part of the fun of that is seeing America, right? You get to see the country as you're going. When you're driving, you see what's ahead of you and maybe just a small angle this direction as you're looking out the windshield. And when you come to stops. But if you're in a self-driving car, no matter which car it is, you get to experience it as a passenger, even if you are by yourself. You can take pictures, you can just enjoy the road, you can read, you can just, I don't know, pull over and make the car drive slowly and fly a drone. I don't know, I'm thinking about drones. But I feel like there's so much more to enjoy when you don't have to spend the time driving the car. We're not there yet, right? This is not, you can't do this right now. There's things they're working out. But my prediction is within, 10 years, 10's a little long, 5 years, 7 years, we'll be at a point where the cars are completely driving themselves. And that's a future to be future-proofing for now.
Yeah. Looking at some of the reports, too, from Tesla, it sounds like they're moving closer and closer to that phase than was initially planned. They may be jumping from, I believe it was level 3 to level 5 self-driving very soon, which is so exciting. Another aspect that I think of when I think of that conversation is my very first vlog traveling from San Francisco down to LA. It was really difficult to try to find the time to vlog around the area. I was able to stop and vlog at gas stations, for example, or when I was getting food. But you're right, you can't vlog so much on the road. You try to maybe set up your GoPro on the dashboard. I've done that in a few vlogs too, but it's nice to be able to travel and go places in a vehicle where you can see it all, but not so easy to be able to share that or even really fully appreciate it, but especially to be able to vlog that. I feel like that just adds an additional level to the ability of vlogs you can then create. So there's a lot to be excited for with the Cybertruck coming up. So excited to share it with you when we get closer to production, when we get some information on that. Now the concept right now is missing, for example, those side mirrors and some other crucial details I'm sure it'll need in order to be a fully functional vehicle at the time of filming. But excited to share that with you as we progress and when they tell me I'll be getting my Cybertruck. Very exciting. Got to start figuring out in the short term. Also, will I get a used older car in the meantime, or what will that look like? So we'll see how things play out, but so excited to share that all with you moving forward. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to stay informed of future Cybertalk adventures and all the fun to come in the Cybertruck. I'm so excited to share all of that with you. As much as it's a huge purchase, I'm so excited for the vehicle, and I can take this time now to start saving up and get myself in a good position to figure out, do I want to try to save up a lot to put down 20% of the vehicle's purchase price? I would worry about the cost per month if I took out a loan for a majority of the vehicle's value. So we'll have to see where I'm at financially when the time comes for me to get that Cybertruck. Regardless, I'm so excited to share it with you. Thank you so much for helping make my day an amazing day, and I hope you are thrilled to see the Cybertruck when it arrives. Don't forget to make your day an amazing day as well. Focus on those positive vibes and look forward to the Cybertruck when it comes. Until next time, play on.
Tesla, Tesla, Tesla. Okay, let's see.
Ready?
Ready.
I look so much shorter than you. All right.